Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We would now quickly run through the stories that made it to the front page of select national newspapers this morning. We begin with the Daily Trust as usual. It's the big story is still staying with the Samoa agreement. Suspend Samoa agreement implementation reps, tells FG. We are studying what they said, according to the federal government. Itai Nang asked National Assembly to sue executive essentially to the Supreme Court and ask for interpretation. Ministry reports Daily Trust to Ombudsman. We are privy to the deal. And this is coming from the Nigerian Bar Association, and gender clauses have broader interpretations, according to lawyers. You'll find all of the details on today's Daily Trust if you open to page 4. To other stories, some of our staffs are bandits informants. And that's coming from Kasina. Erufai ex-commissioners counter Kaduna Assembly report with financial details. And bandit kill 5 soldiers, set truck ablaze in Kaduna. Filling stations to operate longer hours to aid supply, NNPC. And Nopeng Pengerson supports Dangote Refinery, urges FG to investigate IOCs. Northwest Development Commission bill ready for presidential assent. And that's coming from Senator Barrow, the Deputy Senate President. And we have another stripper there. Tinubu Mall's creation of Ministry of Livestock Development.
I think that's all we're going to take. I think fairly enough. Daily Trust captures quite a lot of news stories there. So let's bring in our newspaper reviewer, Mr. Ben Sherman, is former Director of News, Voice of Nigeria, and he's here with us this lovely Wednesday morning to give his thoughts on some of the biggest stories of the day. Mr. Ben, good morning. It's good to see you as always.
You described it as lovely Wednesday. Yeah. Many issues. My state kidnapping here and there.
It's a typical Nigerian day, isn't it?
You know. Yeah. So, well, let's leave it this way. Geographically, lovely day, Wednesday.
Okay. A lot of people will see the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper and say, here these people go again with this Samoa deal. I mean, it has really scorched, so to say, earth in Nigeria this past week because of what it means religiously and culturally for the most part. The Tinubu administration did push back greatly, but now we understand the National Assembly is getting in on the action. Precisely the House of Representatives, they say, listen, this is a no-go area, suspend this and suspend this now. There are so many other points of views from the Nigerian Bar Association. The president said there is no clause that links Nigeria to this whole LGBTQ question. The federal government has dragged Daily Trust to the Ombudsman. Lawyers are looking into it. Itai Nang is saying the National Assembly should take, front seat in some of these agreements and so on and so forth. What are your thoughts about the developments since this news broke?
If I were the federal government of Nigeria, truly, I will suspend this Samoa agreement thing. I will, because of the heat it is generating. Bearing in mind that issues of labor versus government has not been settled. This one is just coming on board so hot and hot. Nigerians are saying, what does it take? Let's not toe the lines of President Ruto of Kenya till you saw what was happening in the streets. You then withdrew with apologies. But lives were already gone, property destroyed. So I think that time has come that the federal government should just take the humble pie, just withdraw this. You have nothing to lose. If you shake hands with whoever is a weakling, it does not make you a weakling. Rather, it makes you strength. You have strength, so to speak. A situation where you have hidden clauses. I'm surprised that the NBA president, Michael, is saying that they played a role. They know what the content is. If you know what the content is, does it follow, therefore, that every Nigerian knows what the content is or the contents are? And when you're talking about some hidden clauses, or you're talking about sexual orientation, it must not be spelled out clearly that you must protect gay or lesbian or whatever. But when you say you protect something like sexual orientation or perspectives of
it's suggestive, isn't it?
It's suggestive, so that by the time you now do, no, this is the interpretation. So when you say ICPC and other related offenses, you could do something, then it now falls under other related offenses.
So it's ambiguous like that.
It's ambiguous, and it is crafted in such a way that, yes, whoever does not have the eagle's eye will just fall trap, as Nigeria has fallen a trap, as I think, for now. Therefore, by the time you now want to look, a group is now protesting, we don't have this right, we don't have this lesbian, this gay rights, this, that. It's then these honors of this Samoa agreement, when I say this is the interpretation, and so we have to look at it. More so, if you look at in Nigeria, there is a law that prohibits same-sex marriage. If you are engaged in it, you are guilty. Those who join them, they are guilty. The owner of the property is guilty. Those who were present or are present when a celebration of that kind of marriage is taking place, they are guilty. The vehicles being used, they are all accessories in the facts, and all have to be taken. This is the Nigerian law. And remember that when Nigeria was to bid for Commonwealth Games, during, was it Jonathan's time or Obasanjo's tail end of, no, Jonathan's time, the issue was that Nigeria was not a free society. Where is this freedom? They said we don't allow same-sex marriage and all that stuff. But the same people who tell you, you can't have two wives. It's against this, it's against that. But you can have an affair with a dog. You can have an affair with a man, and you feel it's a fundamental human right. With us, culture does not allow us. The religion they even brought to us does not allow us. Our own traditional religion does not allow it. And so, if you think you want to impose your own culture, we are saying, by the religion you brought long ago, it has not been changed in the Bible. It's there in the Quran. That same-sex marriage, no, it's not allowed by those two religions. You come to the traditional beliefs, it's not allowed. And that's why, even on grounds of affinity, when there is too much closeness of blood, you are not allowed to marry, except some cultures in Nigeria. So if you now say you want to do this because there is some money to be given unto us for development, I think it's just not it. So when the Minister of Information was saying he was going to take Daily Trust to the court, okay, he has not done so. Rather, he has taken maybe a more subtle way by going to the ombudsman. Let me complain. Daily Trust has to withdraw this. But the heat this thing is generating, how is Nigeria going to handle it? How is the federal government going to handle it? It should look at it in the presence of, while we're talking of hunger here and there. I was thinking that when government decided, okay, they're going to open boundaries, import rice, import food, bring fertilizer. Okay, let us begin to have food on our tables. But we are just generating and creating heat here and there. When I saw that they are likely to create a Minister of Livestock Affairs, I thought that the team would sway in the debate over the Samoa agreement. But no, nothing appears to be swallowing Samoa agreement. So if this agreement is bringing disagreement in Nigeria, I think that the Nigerian government should look at it seriously.
Thank you. Two stories I would like you to react quickly to, happening in states that used to be one, but now two, Katsina and Kaduna. The Katsina government is saying some of its staff are becoming informants to bandits. At the same time, we are seeing bandits killing 5 soldiers and setting truck ablaze in Kaduna. What exactly is happening in these two states?
Look, when I saw the story about the VC in Katsina, I said, look, some of the lecturers are informants. I say, well,
I think it's go ahead.
We've virtually gone to the days of Jonathan when he said members of this cabinet, those in government, they know so much about Boko Haram. Some people were busy condemning him, But in reality, there's always never a situation like we have now, insecurity, that you don't have malls here and there. And coming back to my own state, truly, my own uncle Takai Shaman is being held at the point they said they needed how much, 600 million, reduced to 300 million and all that. I survived a kidnap attempt. God helped me that night. And many others. My cousin could not survive. We had to contribute money to set him free. And you look at soldiers have been attacked. I look at journalists have been keep family, the German journalists and their families all taken. What is happening to my state? What is happening to Katsina? And if you say, oh, it is just Kaduna State, it's just Katsina State, my brother, once my little finger is in pain, the whole of my body is in pain. So an attack on one, as it is said, is an attack on everybody. It has to be that everyone has to come on board. And this is why we're also talking about police, community policing. I kept saying, those who actually helped me were some vigilante groups from Kagoro that did some, and that was how nobody kidnapped me. So time has come that within every community, let's begin to know what is happening within every community. We expand it to local government, expand it to the state, then the federal. When it is more than that of the community, of course, the local government comes in. From local government, if it's too much for them, of course, the state will come in. Then we're talking of the federal might. But every time you see IGs, inspectors general of those days, they say, no, Nigeria is not yet ripe for state policing. Nigeria governors will misuse them. And the governors are just keeping quiet. Nobody is countering these IGs. Are you saying that they are speaking the truth? I think we should be having some genuine governors who have the love of humanity, who indeed promote a sanctity of life and protect properties, protect human beings. That's what they swore to do.
Yeah. Interesting take there. Perhaps a conversation for another day with regards to state police. I don't know if you saw the viral videos going around this past couple of days of the Niger state governor ordering some of his orderlies to manhandle someone. And someone said, that's one of the reasons why they should not have total control of the police. Imagine what could have happened if, he had the control of the entire police force. But unfortunately, for want of time, we're going to have to anchor the conversation here. Mr. Ben, as always, thank you most kindly for stopping by this morning, for making the sacrifice, having to pay so much for fuel just to come and spend
honestly, you see, we have to move Nigeria forward positively. Positively.
Exactly.
It's the sacrifice we are making.
Thank you so much for making that sacrifice. I appreciate you very much for stopping by today.
My pleasure.
All right. I wish we had time for more, but time is not our friend. Our friend, rather. As Abdullah has said, it's at that point where we draw the curtain on daybreak. This lovely Wednesday morning, geographically lovely Wednesday morning. Economically, it's a different conversation, according to Mr. Ben. Again, I want to thank you for finding time to be here. My name is Sunday Michael Ogu. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Thank you so much for your time and company. Emmanuel Fashemi will be joining you shortly at the top of the hour with 360 Sports. My name is Abdullah Ahmed. See you tomorrow.